You guys know the difference between a riot and a protest? What channel you're watching? You turn on Fox News, they tell you, oh, the city of Seattle's on fire. You switch over to MSNBC, they say, oh no, honey, it's June in Seattle, we're flaming. I think the country's going to shit, though. I don't think anybody's protesting when shit's going well. I thought the country was going to shit, last year, so I decided, this November I'm going to vote. And I voted for the first time last November. It didn't matter, though. I didn't get the result I wanted. Apparently, my vote didn't even count. I'm way too old to vote for the Kids' Choice Awards. Fucking Timothy Chalamet, best actor. Nice fucking try. Wonka was dog shit. I just had a kid, though. I've had this kid for 2 weeks now. And, I'm questioning everyone else's parenting skills. I'm looking around, I'm seeing shitty parents everywhere. I've had this kid for 2 weeks, and all throughout the last 2 weeks, his parents have tried to renegotiate the ransom every day. What kind of car you drive says a lot about you, You drive a Chevy, you like to buy American, you got a reasonable budget. You drive a windowless van, you're a rapist or a pedophile. You drive a Subaru, you're really celebrating the hell out of June. You drive a Tesla, you're a Nazi. You drive a Porsche, you're a Nazi. You drive a Ford, you're a Nazi. It kind of keeps going with the Nazi stuff. Mercedes-Benz, Jew. Let's give it up for single moms, guys. I was raised by a single mother. My single mother with 2 different baby daddies. Me and my brother were different racially, so that's kind of an interesting dynamic. I'm Scottish and he's Norwegian. You can imagine how tense breakfast is. Kind of slurs are getting hurled around the household. But my mom did her best. She a single mom, they'll put you to work young. You're a little kid, you're learning to do chores earlier than the other kids. You're making breakfast, you're doing laundry, you're filling up the trunk of her Nissan Versa with scrap metal at a young age. And that's the deal she gives you, right? It says, hey, you want the Xbox for Christmas? You ought to fill up the trunk with scrap metal. What you don't know is that pawn shop's going to go in the Xbox if that trunk isn't full every 2 months after that. Not a lot of people relating. This used to be a working class neighborhood, all right? This is gentrification in action, guys. No, but my mom, she did her best. She raised me and my little brother in a little town called Concrete, Washington. Anybody familiar? About 750 people live there. The population has remained the same for the last 30 years. The reason the population remains the same is because every time a child is sired, the father leaves. 1 year, a woman had twins, and we had to decide collectively which one we were going to drown in the river because we didn't have money in the budget to change the sign. But growing up in a small town, you get a lot of ignorance put onto you. You don't get a lot of worldly opinions. You can leave the town, but that town's not leaving you. I grew up with a very big fear of China. All right, China's gonna get you. China's the boogeyman. We fought all those other Asian fuckers in the last 4 wars. We're leaving the biggest and baddest for you. But I've been doing some research lately, guys, and I don't think I'm too scared of China. All right? China's blown every lead they've ever had. They invented paper money, 30th best currency. They invented gunpowder. They lost to Mongolians on horseback. They invented noodles. Nobody goes to them for noodles anymore. We call it chip pasta and we go to the Italians. Even recently, this last Olympic, they had a 35 medal lead on the US. When it was all said and done, both countries had 40 gold medals, but the United States had 27 more silver and bronze medals. And I don't know if you guys ever collected scrap money for your family, but that is household changing money right there. About $12,000, I did the math. Current air copper rates. Huge. Enormous. Gargantuan. So many words for big, yet none of them have ever described my penis. And that leaves me wondering, am I getting with women with poor vocabularies? Or is it time to fear the worst? No, recently I had a woman tell me I was giving her small dick energy. I just said, that's great. I've never had a woman tell me I was giving her any kind of energy. I feel like we're moving forward here. No, I'm just kidding, guys. It wasn't just any woman. It was my girlfriend of 8 years. I don't know if you could tell, but, I'm not maybe, like, the most freaky person, if you can't tell by my, like, poor-fitting polo shirt and dirty white shoes. But my girlfriend asked me recently, hey, what do you think of threesomes? I didn't realize, this could be a trap. This could be a fight that we're about to start. So, just immediately, wide-eyed like a little puppy, I said, hey, that sounds great. Like, who are we inviting? Hit me like a truck, this woman. She said, who said you're invited? She got me there pretty good. I had a coworker tell me recently that the military is paying for sex changes. And me and my coworker, we both got upset about this, but I realized we were upset for different reasons. He was upset that we're spending money at all. I'm upset that we're not spending the money up front. I figured, hey, we spend the money right now. We make them dead sexy. There's never going to be a homeless veteran again. That's 2 birds, 1 stone. God forbid we make the homeless population a little bit more fuckable. I know I'm painting my coworkers in a negative light, conservative, dumbass guys. We work in the trades, we work at a shipyard here in Seattle. But these guys are pretty progressive. They've been supporting sex workers since they were just hookers. They were giving aid to the underprivileged before there was AIDS. But I'm thinking it might be time to leave the trades. I'm thinking it's time to pursue my dream job. I want to get into tech. I want to make an Apple Watch competitor. Not for health nuts or tech nerds or whatever other losers you're currently wearing, but I want it to be for the scumbags in your life. You just get a little buzz on your watch. Hey, I see you haven't hit up your ex-girlfriend in a couple weeks. Buzzes you again. Hey, she hasn't blocked you on LinkedIn. That might be the venue to do it. Sees you're about to pour a glass of water at the bar. What are you, a pussy? Checking your location. See you're at Nana's house. Let's check the bathroom for any Percocets you might have from that car accident a few months back. You guys like stealing pills from your grandma? You think that's funny? I think it's funny, but it's only funny because it's true. And Nana had that good shit, right? She didn't buy any generic stuff. But I was thinking about it, what is my dream job if I had a time machine, I'm thinking I want to go back, I want to be an immigration officer at Ellis Island. Just some Italian guy walks in, he's like, my name is Vincenzo. It's like, nice try, you're going to be Vincent? Some Irish fucker comes in, he says, oh, my name's O'Connell. Nice try, you're going to be Smith. You have one too many at lunch, you're like, fuck it, everybody's Smith for the rest of the day. Let's go, stamp. Sounds like a pretty cushy gig to me. You guys hear about this AI shit? I just recently learned that's computers. I heard the words artificial intelligence and I was like, gosh damn, the PC police really coming up with fun words for retard nowadays. I heard, Mark Zuckerberg, he's trying to build the biggest AI on the planet. And I was scared for what was gonna happen, How many chicken nuggets are you gonna feed this motherfucker? All right, guys, let's give it up. Let's give it up for our comics tonight. Let's give it up for our illustrious host, Big Time Metal. Don't forget to tip your bartender, Elle. She's working hard and she has to put up with this shit every week. Thank you, guys.